Welcome back to Bleeding Blue, a sit-down podcast with Exeter's athletes. I'm Adam Cooke, the host of this production, as well as a writer, reporter, soccer announcer, and baseball manager. Today, the show returns for the spring season. I talked with Gavin Miller, a phenomenal pitching talent on the baseball team, about his success as a junior, college offers, pitching mechanics, and more. I hope everyone enjoys. Welcome back to Bleeding Blue, a podcast with Exeter athletes. I'm joined by Gavin Miller. I'm glad to have you on. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So, can you just give a little introduction about yourself, who you are, what you do?
Yeah, so my name's Gavin. I'm a junior at Exeter Township Senior High School. I play baseball and I'm a pitcher.
So, you're a pitcher this year, or you have been, but you're the ace. You've taken over as that. So, how does that feel for you to be in such a position?
Yeah, I mean, it feels pretty good. I've put a lot of hard work in. And I think I've trusted my coaches and teammates around me, which have really helped me get to this spot. I pitch to contact a lot, which forces me to trust my teammates, and I do, and they've done a great job so far this year.
So the team is 6-2 right now, which is better than last year's 12-11 season. What are some of the notable changes you've seen so far?
I think we're hitting the ball better. I mean, we've put up a lot of runs. Granted, yesterday we didn't really take advantage of some of the spots. We had a runner on third twice with one out, I believe. But, I mean, that happens. That's just baseball. But I think for the most part we've been hitting a lot better than we did last year, and we're facing better pitching in my opinion. But, yeah, I think we're hitting better.
Is it nice to have that run support behind you more consistently this year?
It definitely is. It takes a little bit of stress off my back, but yeah, I'd have to say it is.
Yesterday you went 7 innings, game 1 into extras against Palmyra. What was it like facing that lineup, and how did you get out of that with only 2 runs?
Yeah, Palmyra is a very, very solid team. I was going into that game knowing that they're all a bunch of warriors up at the plate. It wasn't going to be easy. I looked at their lineup right before the game. Coach Schiller gave me their lineup and all their batting averages and statistics and stuff like that. I don't think there was really one. There might have been 1 or 2 kids below 300. Everyone else was above that. They worked some hard counts. They were hitting the ball hard, but I think really I was trusting my stuff and trusting. I had a lot of fly ball outs, so I was trusting my outfield. I know it's probably the fastest outfield in the county, maybe even the district. Yeah, so pitching the contact was key yesterday.
And in Berks 1, very competitive division in the county, you're facing a lot of other lineups like that. Can you talk about what it's like playing in Berks 1?
Yeah, Berks 1 is definitely the most competitive baseball conference there is. You got Mifflin, Wilson. Who else is in there? Muhlenberg
and Reading.
Yeah, so they're all solid competitive teams. It's always going to be a dogfight. I always like to compare it to like Yankees, Red Sox, like Phillies, Braves. Mm-hmm. It's always going to be chippy. It's going to be high emotion. So honestly, it's for me, for how I am, I'm not like a yeller or screamer. I just kind of stay focused and lead by example. But just staying locked in. And I know other guys like to get involved in the chippiness, and I like that stuff. But just staying locked in and not letting that stuff get to your head.
You haven't been able to pitch in any county championship or county playoff games so far, have you?
Mm-mm.
So, is there any concerns that maybe a lack of experience won't be in the favor of you, or are you excited to play in a playoff if we make it?
No, I mean, I'm definitely excited. I'm not worried about the lack of experience at all. I mean, last year I pitched against Warwick in I think it was the district quarterfinals.
Mm-hmm.
And the year before that, they were the state champions, so very solid team. We played a great game. I pitched, I think it was 6 innings, 1 or 2 runs maybe. So I'm not really worried about the experience. I think I'm confident in myself, and yesterday I pitched against Palmyra, a pretty good game, and Muhlenberg, a complete game. So I'm not worried about the experience. It'll be a fun time because I'm confident we'll make it there as long as we win today and beat Twin Valley on Friday.
What is it like? I know today you're recording because it's an off day. So, what is it like during these off days when team still has games, but you're not really active?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty nice, but I like going out there, sitting in the dugout, supporting the guys, helping the pitchers, just with just regular pitching stuff, grips, pressure points, just mindset when you're on the mound, and just talking to the coaches, talking about the previous performance, what I could do better, and just hanging out with the guys in the dugout. It's a pretty fun time.
What about your game and your pitching specifically when you are on the mound makes you so electric and allows you to get those outs?
I think it's my preparation, and I'm a big visualizer. I like the night before I lay in bed and kind of just think about what I'm going to do that day. I think about if I pitched against that team before, what they did good, what they did bad, what I can improve on. And in my bullpens, I'll work a lot on not as much throwing hard. That comes on game day, but just on location and making sure my ball's spinning right, my off speeds are spinning right, and making sure my mechanics feel fluid and repeatable.
So those are some of your major parts of your warm-up routine?
Yeah, and I really I'm a big fan of plyo balls. Makes my arm feel really light, and the ball kind of feels really small. It feels like it's almost like a golf ball coming out of my hand. So I think that's definitely really beneficial.
So this year, catching has changed a lot. Last year was Chase Cooke, a senior. Now it's freshman Brandon Weller. What does it change like that? How does that affect you? What has that been like?
Yeah, I mean, Chase Cooke last year is a great role model and leader. He led by example. He's a great guy. Nothing but good things to say about him. He hit well. He caught well. He had a good arm. Yeah, we have freshman Brandon Weller, he's amazing. He hits. I think he's leading the team in doubles. He's hitting for an average. He's really good. He comes through in big situations. He's had a few big hits this year actually to put us some go-ahead runs. And defensively, he's getting there. He's good. I'm really confident in him in the upcoming years. He's really good, and I'm really high on him.
There's a lot of other young guys along with him. A lot of guys in class of 26, 27. How is that like to have a lot of young talent on the team around you?
Yeah, I mean, some people might look at it as like a negative, but I'm thinking, next year when I'm a senior, and obviously I'll be in college after that. But I think in the next few years we're gonna be a really, really solid team, and kind of like the Mifflin now. I guess you could say. But yeah, I think it's definitely positive. We're gonna have a lot of younger guys having varsity experience really early, which is very beneficial for the future.
So when did you first decide, like, hey, pitching's going to be for me? I don't really want to be a position player. I want to be on the mound.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a loaded question because, yeah, like I've always fell in love with like the mind games. I'm a big fan of Trevor Bauer, baseball-wise. But yeah, I really like listening to his commentary and his like game day vlogs, and the way he approaches certain batters and the homework he does on them. So I'm a big fan of the mind games and making people look silly up at the plate. And I'm also not that great of a hitter. I'm not a fan of it. And I'm playing the field. It's not for me. Pitching's definitely my favorite thing to do. It's just kind of what I fell in love with.
That's fair. Do you have any other guys? I know you said Bauer, but are there any other guys, whether it's big league, high school, college, that you look up to and want to model yourself after?
That's a good question. Probably Garrett Cole. I like how he is. He's kind of like me. I'd say he's pretty stoic. He has like that quiet fire inside of him. He's really competitive. His mechanics are simple. He's quiet. He kind of just leads by example, as I said earlier. I like him a lot. And then sort of like the polar opposite of me, I like James Karinchak, just because he's the opposite of me. He's like I guess they call him Wild Thing from Major League, but he's very exciting to watch. So probably those two guys.
Where do you see yourself as a student athlete down the road over the next few years?
Yeah, I definitely see myself playing baseball at school. I'm very excited for the future. It's going to be, it's always a challenge to balance schoolwork and athletics, but I could definitely see myself doing that, and I'm very excited for that.
What do you plan on majoring in when you get to college?
So my plan for now is to major in political science and minor in philosophy, and eventually take that into law school.
You just got your first offer, was it last week? Where's the week before?
It was last week.
Last week.
I think it was last Wednesday night.
From Bloomsburg. So, talk to me. How did that feel to get that? Does it excite you that you're starting this recruiting process, or it's picking up a lot of steam now?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a very exciting time, very stressful as well, because you got to take a lot of things into consideration. But yeah, I mean, Bloomsburg, it's a great school. I was in the dugout with some of the players. I felt like I was a part of the team, only talking to them for 20, 25 minutes. They're great guys. The coaches as well. The pitching coach, Coach Argo, he's a great guy. Head coach Collins, I love him as well. I could definitely see myself there. I like the campus. Everyone there is really nice. So, I'm definitely taking them into deep consideration.
When you were able to talk to that scout that came to the Muhlenberg game and he called you up that night, what were you guys talking about? What did you tell him?
Yeah, so he's kind of just asking me how I felt and, what I felt like I could have worked on personally. And I told him. And, he was like, just telling some minor stuff that he saw. The one major thing was usually when I come into my windup, I pause right before I'm about to lift my leg, and he was like, just telling me like, kind of just keep the fluid momentum and stop the pause and just keep a fluid motion, which I did against Palmyra, and I think it worked pretty well. Yeah. And then he called me later that night, and we were talking about some more stuff about the game that he saw, and and then he offered me.
So are you kind of a fluid guy when it comes to pitching? Like you're open to suggestions and test them out?
Yeah, I definitely would say I am. I just started over the fall going to pitching coach. His name's Tad Barton. He's a great guy. He kind of helped me a lot. Velocity jumped 8-9 miles an hour after 2 months of going with him. So I definitely changed my mechanics up and my training methods. But I mean, that's for the better. And I'm willing to take suggestions from anyone because, pitching is so it's so subjective. It changes for everyone. So, if one thing that a coach tells me doesn't work, then I could listen to another coach and that'll work. So yeah, I'm definitely open to a lot of suggestions.
You talked about your velo going up, and you've always had good control, good movement, that kind of stuff. But this year, you've really shined in that velo department. How do you think that's affected you and your success?
Yeah, so last year I was more of a pitch-to-contact guy. I think I was probably sitting like 78, 79 miles an hour, if that. My mechanics really weren't there. I was kind of, I want to say like not smooth, not fluid with my movements. And then, as I said, I went to Barton, and he kind of helped me gain my mobility. I've always had the mobility. It's just I wasn't using it correctly. So once I did that, did some other exercises, kind of helped me with that. And, my velocity jumped right away. And I think that's why I've gotten more strikeouts this year. Last year I really had maybe like 2 or 3 a game. This year I want to say 6 average. But I've definitely seen a increase in my strikeouts and swings and misses.
Last year was the last year for Devin Sheeran, who went D1 for pitching, throws the high 90s. So has he been an inspiration, and how have you guys affected each other?
Yeah, Devin, he's a good guy. He occasionally will text back and forth, and during the summer we were long tossing and just having some conversation about pitching and some stuff he learned while he was at college. It's definitely a tough role to fill in the shoes of him because he was a great pitcher. He, as you said, he's throwing high 90s at a D1 school. It's really impressive. I'm trying my best to kind of take what he's done here and implement it in myself and learn from him, learn from his the good things he's done and the bad things he's done, and try to filter that down.
Yeah. So this is something I've never done before, but I'm just going to try this out.
All right.
We're just going to do some rapid fire questions, completely random stuff, just your opinion here.
Okay.
So, favorite sports drink?
BioSteel.
Favorite teacher at Exeter?
Mr. Shive.
Funniest teammate?
Can it be a past teammate?
Yeah.
Chase McCusker.
Favorite subject?
History.
Favorite sport to watch?
College football.
Favorite college football team?
Notre Dame.
If you were to play as a position player, would you play infield or outfield?
Infield. First base.
Wawa or Sheets?
Wawa.
Red grapes or green grapes?
Red.
Hoodies or t-shirts?
Hoodies.
Winter or summer?
Summer. Kind of contradicting myself in summer.
Favorite color?
Gray.
Fair number.
21.
That's your number, right? Or no, you're 27, right?
That's my dad's old number.
Oh, so did you ever consider 21?
I did, but the jersey's a double XL, so I wouldn't fit it.
That's fair. So yeah. We're going to talk a little bit about Exeter. So how do you think being an Exeter Eagle has shaped you?
Yeah, I've been here my whole life, ever since preschool, and I think I've built some good relationships with the people here and the teachers. I'm a fan of everyone. I think everyone in the community kind of knows who I am, and I know who they am, and I'm comfortable here. So yeah.
What does it mean to you to be part of this community and bleed blue?
Yeah, it's definitely a great community to be a part of because everyone's so positive and we're so tightly knit, and we all support each other. So it definitely means a lot, and it holds a lot of value playing for this baseball team.
Does it excite you to be able to play not just another half a season this year, but another one next year?
It definitely does. Yeah, I'm very excited to build off of what we've done already this year, and I think, as I said earlier, we have a lot of young players, but next year's going to be even better because we're all going to have more experience. We're going to have more confidence because we're having a great season so far this year. So I think next year can only be better.
In 5-10 years, when you're looking back at your time at Exeter, what do you think you're going to remember most about this school and the baseball team you're playing for?
Probably just the friendships and relationships I've built. I mean, not even baseball-wise, just sitting in the dugout, laughing with the guys at practice, messing around, laughing at each other, laughing with each other. I think that's kind of the main thing, just building friendships.
So, for the first 2 years of your high school career, you were quarterback on the football team, and did you get some time in?
Some garbage time. We were winning 50, 60 nothing, but yeah, I did.
What was it like being on a football team, huge team, much different practice and that stuff as baseball?
Yeah, it was definitely a good experience. I really enjoyed my time there. It was definitely very fun to be a part of the team. It was sort of a different setting than baseball just because there's so many guys and the practices are a little bit more focused on position-wise. But it was a great time, and I don't regret the time I had there.
Does it help you more with baseball now that you can focus on just one sport?
Yeah, I think it does. I mean, obviously I loved football, and I've played it ever since I was in, I think, 3rd or 4th grade, so it was definitely a hard decision to give it up, but it does make it a little bit easier because I don't have to worry about, throwing at baseball on Monday afternoon and going to Wednesday morning practice of football, and running, twisting an ankle. For me, personally, it just doesn't seem worth it in my situation, but the guys over there on the football team are great guys, and the coaches are all good people, so yeah, definitely has helped.
Did it help you or harm you when you were playing quarterback and pitcher? Did it help you because you were throwing so much in two different sports, or did it harm you because the motions are different?
Yeah, actually, that's a good question because when I was at football practice, sometimes I would tend to throw I guess you call them ducks, because baseball, you're coming down this way, and football, you're coming down the complete opposite way, so it's definitely difficult to get used to. And when I was on the mound, I ended up cutting the ball a lot, so I would miss the plate. So it definitely did harm me, and also it would make my arm pretty sore, so I think it's helped me a lot this year with just making the switch to primarily baseball.
How have you been practicing and training? I know you mentioned Coach Barton, but how much time are you putting into it, and what other ways are you training?
Yeah, so in the summer I would go every other Sunday to him up until, started in the fall. I think it was September, start in September, every other Sunday up until early March. So I spent a good amount of time with him, got to build a good relationship with him. He knows who I am personally and how I move and how my mind works on the baseball field, and I know how he thinks and what his philosophy about pitching is. So I think that has helped me a lot, and I actually have some medicine balls and plyo balls in my house and a plyo board in my garage that I use from time to time. If I feel like my arm's kind of moving slow or my body's not moving efficiently, I'll get the medicine balls and do some drills that I've worked on with him. He sent me this whole training program, which has been excellent, helped me a lot. So I guess that's sort of my main outlet for training. on my own.
Mm-hmm. Does it help you when you guys head down to Disney every year, get warmed up with the team?
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, when we go to Disney, the weather's hot, and when we come back up here, it's
freezing.
Yeah, it's pretty cold. It's northeast Pennsylvania weather, so I'd say that's the only negative of it is getting used to the weather. But when we go down there, we're playing games and we're getting live ABs and live pitching, so that's something that's kind of hard to get at practice because we have a limited amount of pitchers, so we can't be throwing too much. But yeah, it definitely is beneficial.
Do you guys do anything else down in Florida, or is it mainly just game after game after game?
Yeah, so we'll play 2 games down in Florida. This year we played Archbishop Carroll and St. Joe's Prep, 2 great teams. It was great competition. I had a great time pitching against St. Joe's. Kind of set me up for like the Muhlenberg game, the Palmyra game.
Yeah.
And then after the games, we'll hang out at the hotel, go to the pool, go to Disney, go out to dinner as a team. Kind of just a lot of team building stuff, which again is very beneficial.
This is just like a question that I don't know the answer. I don't know if you do. But do you know why those games in Florida don't count? But compared to, like, I know some teams in Berks go down to, like, Myrtle Beach. Those games do count. Do you know why there's a difference?
I'm not entirely sure. I think maybe it's because we're playing teams. This year we played teams in the Philadelphia Catholic League, so maybe that has something to do with it. But I think it's Mifflin and Twin Valley or BC and Twin Valley that go down there and their games count. Maybe it's just because they're in the same league. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. Is there any other times you'll ever see PCL teams, or is that is it an experience that's unique?
Yeah, I mean, I think the only other time we'd really see them is states. But yeah, it's definitely a unique experience to see people you have no idea who they are, and most of the time they're very good ball players, and they come from good backgrounds. So yeah, it's definitely a unique experience.
Talking about states now, if you guys do end up making a good run in districts and in states, does that excite you, and how far do you think that'll go?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does excite me. I would want nothing less than that. And I think that's the goal for the team. And yeah, I mean, I think we control our own destiny at this point. We're a young team, but as we've shown, we can put runs up on the board and we play solid defense. And we have Alex Kelsey as an amazing closing pitcher. He struck out the side yesterday in the 8th inning. He was pumping some gas, it looked like. So very excited about that. So I think as long as all those parts come together, I think we honestly go as far as we want.
What about the team chemistry do you think is most beneficial? What have you noticed about that so far this year? Yeah,
I think the team chemistry is pretty good. Same as last year, but this year I think it's honestly even better because all the young guys, I think we have 6 sophomores, about that.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a good amount.
There's a lot.
And we have Weller as our freshman catcher, but I think all those sophomores, they grew up playing together, so that definitely helps. They all have the team chemistry, and there's a few juniors on the team who grew up playing together. And then Kelsey and Gearing and Oxenrider are kind of the lone seniors, but I think we all really jive as a team very well. Our personalities all mix and match pretty well.
What about Kelsey, Oxenrider, and Gearing? How is it going to be like without them next year?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough loss. I mean, Oxenrider, he runs the bases amazing. I mean, he's so fast, and when he's in the outfield, he's tracking everything down. I don't think there's one time on the bases this year that he hasn't scored. Whenever he's pinch running for the pitcher or catcher, I think he's scored every single time. His IQ on the bases and his speed it's incredible. It's something we're definitely really going to miss. So we're going to need someone to step up into that role. Gearing, his energy and his bat, we're going to miss a lot. He's a good leader to the team too. He's a little bit quiet as a leader, and people on the outside don't really see that. But when he's in the dugout, he's picking people up, he's telling people what they should be working on. He's a really positive person. Kelsey, he's just an all-around amazing player. I mean, and his energy is unmatched. He really can bring us up, motivate us, and he always comes through with a big hit or a big diving play. So I think people are going to need to step into those roles.
Do you think next year as a senior year going to be one of those guys that are leading your team?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully. As I said earlier, I'm kind of quiet and stoic, and I keep to myself. But I definitely like being the leader of the team next year. And I'm gonna need. I think everyone on the team has potential to be that guy, be the Kelsey, be the Gearing, be the Oxenrider. So yeah, I mean, everyone has potential to be that guy. So I'm really excited for next year.
How do you think you've been shaped as an athlete, as a student, and as a person? You know, what people, what things have helped mold you?
Yeah, I mean, my mom and dad have really raised me well. They taught me what's right and what's wrong, how to treat people, how to talk to people, how to talk to coaches, how to act on the field, how to respect people, how to respect teachers. Doing my schoolwork, how important that is, and then practicing as hard as you can, playing as hard as you can. So I think that really helped me mold who I am as a person.
Are you excited for what's in store next? You know, there's a lot ahead of you, so are you excited?
Yeah, I definitely am excited for the next chapter for college ball, and I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, I mean, for now we have a pretty good opportunity so far this season and even next year. But this season, where we're 6-2, we just beat the second-ranked team in the district, Palmyra. So I think right now I'm looking forward to this opportunity.
Is there anything else you want to add on?
No, I had a good time talking with you. Thank you, Adam.
Appreciate it. Thank you for coming on. It was awesome talking. So
yeah, of course. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to Gavin for coming on the show, and thanks to everyone for tuning in. Bleeding Blue is back and will likely be released on a weekly basis. If you want to stay in the loop, check out my website, adamcookejournalism.com. Follow me on all of my socials at adamcookejournalism, and hit the follow or subscribe button wherever you're listening. Thank you for supporting local journalism with Bleeding Blue. This is Adam signing off.